Okay, that hard cartilaginous thing at the top of the esophagus. What is that?
Larynx.
Larynx. Okay, if I had a cat where that larynx just kind of popped off and it had like, you looked at it and it had like a little flap.
Epiglottis.
Epiglottis.
Okay, good.
It's an
All right, let's see which one. All right, I heard this earlier. So what do we call that?
Brachiocephalic.
Brachiocephalic, right? So the way to remember that is you have the inferior or superior vena cava, okay, and then it splits, brachiocephalic towards the head, right? Where it breaks off going up towards the head, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Because that's where it goes up into the jugular veins, okay? So brachiocephalic, okay? Is that that was what, B or C? Okay, what is that gland?
Carotid.
Right. It sits right underneath the ear. That big, massive one right underneath the ear.
The other one.
And what's the other one?
Mandibular.
Mandibular, right.
I remember, I thought the parotid was more.
Yeah, put the
So
maxillary and the
maxillary and
lymph.
mandibular.
Well, put the
Mandibular. Now, keep in mind,
lymph.
there's some other veins, and different cats are going to have other, or it's going to look better. But there's like few veins. There's like 2 or 3 veins that are pretty obvious that I may ask you on the exam. I'm not sure yet, but there's like 2 of them. They have easy names, so they're really good, I think, test questions. Okay? I think that was the last one for that one. Okay, so what is A?
Stomach.
Okay, yeah,
It's
I
a
know.
huge stomach.
That's why I have it. But what do we call that big?
Fundus.
I'd have taken that. I
Greater
heard
curvature.
greater curvature, right?
I don't know.
Okay. Now on the actual exam, like there are some things like a spleen or pancreas that I would just obviously just want spleen and pancreas because we didn't talk
could,
about
like,
different parts.
Be specific.
I would be on the exam. You guys know that. I would say what part of is this of the stomach? Or if I wanted just stomach, I'd say name the organ.
Yep.
Right? So even with stuff like the pancreas, I'll say name the organ. Okay, that way there's no confusion. But if I say like name this specific part, okay, that's why we're doing this. It's just practice. Okay, and let's see. So we have this other part of the stomach that's almost right at the start of the small intestine. What is that?
Duodenum.
Pylorus, right. Okay, duodenum is part of the small intestine.
What
The first part.
Do they have a
So-
sphincter there?
Yeah, that's
what
right.
apple
That's where the
is.
pyloric sphincter is, and I would take
You would
that.
take that? That's
Okay.
what I thought. Okay.
Exactly. I would totally take that. That region is called the pylorus. But if you got pyloric sphincter, that's totally good for me. Okay. So remember, I said if I were to talk or ask questions about regions of the intestine, it would be ridiculously obvious where it was, right? Okay. So obviously, C is what, about 3 inches off the stomach. Okay. So you're not going to get that confused with the colon, I hope. Okay. Or anything else. All right. So. Right, the duodenum, and then what's the other section closer to the colon, which starts here?
Ileum or jejunum?
Right, remember we're not separating jejunum and ileum. Your book
So,
just calls it
either one?
jejuno-ileum. Just combine them.
Okay.
Jejuno-ileum.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll always do it, because I'm just following with that, what your book does, and I thought maybe make it a little bit easier. Okay?
Yeah.
Because when they're all wound around like this, it's hard to tell. Okay? So if I'm going to ask that, it's going to be, this one's like coming right off the stomach, or it's right by the colon. And I picked it, obviously, because that's the colon, right? What do we call this part up here of the colon? Yep. Okay, 7.
I wonder how many bonus points are there.
Now this one was a little bit tricky, and it sucks that we don't have a sheet part, but I at least hope that you would be able to get it, some of it just from the region of it, where it's at. Okay, so what is A? Close. What does it look? What's the shape kind of look like? Remember we talked about that. I said that in class last time. I remember, that's why I asked it. It kind of looks like an ear. Auricle, right? Auricle, right?
Right oracle.
Okay. So the auricles sit on top, and the left one on this is over here, but it's not very obvious. Some of yours are more obvious, I saw last week. Okay, so obviously since this B is on the right side and it's not down towards the bottom, what is that?
Atrium.
Right.
Right atrium, right? And again, I'm not going to be putting pins, like 15 different pins in all these. So look at the region. You know where atriums are in relation to ventricles. Okay? All right, C. What is that structure that comes off the heart? Aortic arch, right? All you have to do is see in there that it's red, comes out of the heart, and it actually makes that arch, and then the arteries that go up to the head, right?
Right.
Okay. Okay, what part is A?
Medulla.
Yeah, you guys should have known that was coming from when I gave the lecture. Yes. Okay. B, what do we call those little tree things?
Arbor vitae.
Okay.
I just
Right.
wrote cerebellum.
Me too. I thought you wanted to.
I put cerebellum as well.
Well, I'd have probably taken that. I'll take that for this, but obviously on the exam, like you know how I did it before, it'd be like,
Yeah.
what is those? I don't know. Tree. Well, I probably wouldn't say tree like.
Oh yeah.
But what is that arbor vitae? I could say white matter, or I could say something about that part of that structure.
A specific
Something
part
like that,
of this
yeah.
part.
But just for this, because this is just practice, Okay, C.
Yeah.
Right. Good.
Which one? What was it?
Lateral ventricle. Okay. Why is it lateral? On the side, right? Okay. The third ventricle runs down in here, but of course that's really difficult because it's always destroyed down in there. Okay. But there is another ventricle that sits right underneath the cerebellum. Which one is that?
Fourth.
Right. Okay. So you got the fourth, the third, and the lateral. Where's 1 and 2? Or
Yeah.
okay. The answer to that is there's an optic ventricle and a cerebral ventricle, and you would actually have to cut them to do it. Okay, so you don't have to worry about those. So if I've already said that the third ventricle is pretty much destroyed in most of these, but I've given you the left and I've given you the fourth already in a practical. I think one of those two might be on there.
Possibly.
Yeah, that's a pretty good shot. I'd say it's 50-50 the daughter wanted
D
to.
is
Oh wait, D. Okay, you guys know that, right?
Yeah.
What's the other part called?
Gyrus. What is his name was? Sulcus.
yeah.
I was in medulla oblongata.
Okay. Hey, you guys better get that. No. Optic nerve. Okay.
Oh, that's the old
Right. What are these?
The olfactory.
Right. Good. Okay. B. You guys know what those nerves are? They're the obvious ones. When we did this, I said those are ridiculously awesome. They're not awesome. They're not awesome. Obvious. Sorry. Ocular motor. Right. Just think. The way you can think about that is those big nerves that you see right below either the infundibulum or immediately behind the optic nerves. Optic, ocular, little association. Okay, C we've had before.
infundibulum.
Right. And there's a certain type of gland that hooks up to that.
Oh, is it?
Right.
Infundibulum.
Yep. Okay, and what's D? That's a part of the brain. Yep. Pons. Okay. And the reason why I picked that is because you can kind of see the division between that and the medulla. Okay, so it's easy. It has a specific shape. So I wanted to make sure you guys, give you something.
So A you said was optic nerve, right?
Yes.
Yeah.